Greeting Yuka ONO. Have you ever heard this language? This is Vietnamese. Hello, my name is Yuka ONO. So today my presentation title is Japanese people say hello to a new friend in Asia. This is today's overview. The purpose of this research is describing Vietnamese future demand from the 3 points: pro-Japanese, business and geography, and tourism. And I suggest work together and grow together. This is Vietnam's basic information. Vietnam is located in Southeast Asia. And please look at this logo. This logo is a 40s memorial logo when concluded a treaty of friendship between Vietnam and Japan. Japan has a good relationship between Vietnam and Japan. Please look at this ranking. This ranking shows financial support for Vietnam. Every year, Japan is the best. Japan is the first. So Japan supports Vietnam very well. And this data also says that that question is, do you like Japan? And please look at very much and like ratio, like rate. And Vietnam is the highest than other countries. Vietnamese have a good image to Japanese. Not only from now on, I'd like to talk to you about Vietnamese potential from geography and business. The example is S-Cook Vietnam. S-Cook is a Japanese famous company, a Japanese famous instant noodle company. S-Cook Vietnam has a 60% of instant noodle share in Vietnam. But you have a question for me. So the question is, why Vietnam is so important as a geography? Please look at this slide again, and please have a look here very well. Vietnam is surrounded by China, Laos, Cambodia, and many developing countries. So Vietnam is easy to export products for these countries, and Japanese people can find a new market in Southeast Asia. In other words, Vietnam can be a Japanese economical hub in Southeast Asia. Not only Southeast Asia. I think Vietnam is really international country. The keyword is Viet Kieu. Do you know Viet Kieu? Viet Kieu is a Vietnamese who have a local nationality, and there are 4 million to 5 million people around the world. And I want to use S-Cook example. I want to use S-Cook again. S-Cook products in Vietnam, 90% of S-Cook Vietnam products are consumed in Vietnam. However, another 10% of products are exported for 46 countries, such as Cambodia, Germany, the US, and so on. And S-Cook says most of agents are Viet Kieu, so they can use Vietnamese if you want to export for Germany and other countries. Third, I'd like to talk about Vietnam's potential from that as tourism. Please look at this ranking. The first is Vietnam, and the number is exceptionally higher than other countries. So it means Vietnam has Japanese people has very interested about Vietnam. So I think tourists for Vietnam will be increased, and so Vietnam tourism has a demand. Vietnam Vietnam tourists need a Japanese Vietnamese speaker. Not only Japan to Vietnam, I can also say Vietnam to Japan. Please look at this graph. This graph shows population change. Red one is Japan and blue one is Vietnam. Vietnam is still lower than Japan, but you can find how rapidly this increase. So, Vietnam is filled with very youth vitality. So I think Vietnam will have a more economic power, and Vietnam young people want to come to Japan. And then my friend in Vietnam have my friend in Vietnam has interested in Japan, so I think about it. And so Japanese tourism sport will be need a more Japanese Vietnamese speaker. And this is conclusion. To sum up, I like to tell you about Vietnamese potential from the 3 points: pro-Japanese, business and geography, and tourism. And Vietnam has a plenty of potential, and I think Japan and Vietnam can be a good partner to grow each other and work together. Finally, this photo is taken from JICA office in Hanoi. Now it's like this, but I think the view of this from this the picture must be totally different after 5 or 10 years later, because and I hope go Vietnam again, and I'm looking forward to after change Vietnam. This is different. Thank you for listening.